Hola, buenas noches, Gugvel, and good evening, everyone. Welcome to ESC Fan TV, the second episode of our weekly show where we cover everything on the road to Liverpool. I'm Elliot, and for some reason, I've been left in charge of hosting this evening. God knows why. Don't ask me. I just do as I'm told. But too late now. Tonight, as I said last week, we are covering Spain and Portugal, and just a little recap on Norway as well. But let's get straight into it. Let's not waste any time. If you do like what you see tonight, make sure you give us a like and a follow on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, as well as comment and like us on YouTube. We really do appreciate all of your lovely comments, and make sure you put them in if you're in the chat room this evening, which will be read out and looked after by my lovely co-host to my left, Stuart. How are you, Stuart?
And remember the mute button, always a good idea. Especially when you're not hosting and you have the one night off. Yeah, very good, thanks, Elliot. Yeah, really, really good. I can't wait to talk about Festival de Canção and Benidorm Fest. Two fantastic shows last year. Are they going to live up to this year's expectations? We shall see.
And so both got very good results last year. Let's see if any of them in the 38 songs they've got this year between the two of them can live up. To my right, as you can see, from Cyprus, currently in Prague, it's Oben.
Good evening, everyone. Excited to be with you, but I'm gonna make some enemies tonight. I know.
And if that's not a reason to stick around, folks, I don't know what is, because that means something controversial is about to happen. Yay. Directly below him from Portugal, we have David. Hello, David. How have you been?
Hi, long time no see. Nice to see you people, and hopefully we have good comments about Portugal and also La España. Vamos.
And talking about La España, we've got the one person who can probably speak it fluently and understand what's going on during those shows. It's Tristan.
Hello there. Yep, very well. I've been spotting up all on lots of facts about all the Spanish acts and stuff. So it's going to be a good episode, I think.
And just next door to Tristan, we have Gustav, who has a Spanish surname. But how is the Spanish going at the minute, Gustav? Have you learnt much in the last 3 years?
Can you not?
No.
I don't know a single word of Spanish. And my husband is very ashamed of me. But it is what it is. Hi, everyone, by the way.
And directly below him, as we have the king and queen of ESC Fan TV, it is Phil and Michelle.
Hi, hello.
Right.
Have you recovered from the madness?
I only know one word of Spanish. Is it cerveza?
That's all you need to know.
And rounding it out, we have back. We haven't seen him for a while. It's Matt. Hi, Matt. How have you been?
I'm good. Yeah, not too bad. Thanks. How about yourself?
I am doing well. I'm alive, and I think right now that is the most important thing. We're surviving.
Yeah.
But anyway, like I said, we're all here. Let's all have a good show, and let's just crack straight on it with Benidorm Fest, the brand new show format which dropped last year to huge acclaim and success for them, as Chanel, after winning the show, went on to get third at Eurovision, and then got voted the most successful song ever, or most popular song at ESC 250, finally knocking Loreen off its throne. Make of that what you wish, guys. The Spanish are an interesting bunch. They weren't happy that she won, and then it was the best thing ever when she got a good result. Make up your minds. So it's going to be 2 semi-finals, 18 songs this year, so a slight increase on the 14. Only 4 will advance from each semi-final, and we have 9 in the first semi-final taking place on January 31st. And if you don't know who they are, it is Agane, Alice Wonder, Alitz Arlen, Fusa Nocta, Megala, Mela, Sharon, Sophia Martin, and Twin Melody. Now, quite a few names in there. Obviously, Agane from Operación Triunfo, Sharon, who has just recently won the latest version of Drag Race España, Twin Melody with a huge following on social media and TikTok, as well as Alitz Arlen, also classing himself as a dancer, actor, TikToker, and future musician or future singer. Again, make of that what you will when he's in a selection. So 4 of these 9 are going to advance. We're just going to talk about our favourites in this semi-final. Let's start with Matt, our guest of the evening. Who of these 9 are you really rooting for to advance?
So I'm really liking Megara. I think her song's really like futuristic, really different, and yeah, it's got a real sort of rocky feel to it. And I think if Spain said something like that, it would be something that really stood out. I like the masks as well, and I think that could be quite a good gimmick as well if they did go to Eurovision. So yeah, really like Megara, also Agony as well. merging a bit of like dance with pop, very alternative. And yeah, I think it'd be nice to see Spain sending something really different this year.
Okay, amazing. Gustav, let's come across to you. We know you love a big ballad. There's not a huge amount in this semi-final, but at the same time, you also like a bit of eye candy, and Agone is definitely the eye candy in this semi-final. So, is that where your vote is going?
I mean, yes. I have listened to 2 songs from the Spanish selection in general because, well, I was disappointed last year when everyone loved it. So I was like, let's just take it chill this year. Listen to the ones I find interesting. So I listened to that, and I listened to what was her name, the drag act.
Sharon.
Yeah. I like both of those, but of course I'm going for the eye candy because I wouldn't be me if I didn't.
And Owen, are you following Gustav? Are you going for the eye candy, or is there anyone with the song that stands out for you at this semi-final?
I mean, in terms of eye candy, I'm definitely like up for it, like of course, but my choice is slightly different. I would definitely take Aritz Aren every day for the rest of my life, but but anyway, going back to the songs, right? There. Oh, okay. So song-wise, there is one song that I couldn't take out of my mind. Take off? Yeah. Anyway, for the last 10 hours, right? And I am ready to negotiate with all the Eurovision fans. I'll give you Cyprus never wins for the next 10 years, but Fusanokta wins the Eurovision this year. Like Mi Familia, I think it's just amazing. I love the song. And we've been waiting for Rosalia to come and represent Spain in Eurovision. And we just got our own Rosalia. Who needs Rosalia? She's just as good, if not better. So I am so excited about this song, not just for this semi-final, not just national selection, but the whole 2023 season.
High praise there, indeed, from Open. Let's see if it comes to fruition in the next few weeks when it happens. So, Tristan, coming to you now, and just having a look on the odds. Agone was the heavy favourite for a long time, but now he's slipped, and Alice, Alex, and Fusa are ahead of him. So the top 5 in the odds are all in this semi-final.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, that means one of them is going to miss out. Who do you think can advance, and who do you think could actually win this whole thing? If this is what the bookmakers are saying.
Well, actually, I think Fusa Nocta is the dark horse. I think it's a huge breath of fresh air. She actually comes from Gandia, which is a town where I was brought up. It's a really interesting genre. It's sort of like it's trap, but it's also flamenco. As you say, it's very similar to Rosalia, which she takes as a compliment. And I think it's a fantastic song, but I'm not sure whether it would do that well in Liverpool if it were to win. But I really do think it's a fantastic song. It's my favourite out of all the Benidorm Fest songs. The one I think that will do really well in Liverpool, were it to win, is actually Aritz Aren, Flamenco. I think it's a lovely song. I know that he has had a bit of criticism from other people like Blanca Paloma, saying that this is not actually a flamenco song, so why are you calling it flamenco? But I think that it kind of reminds. If the staging is really good, because apparently it's just going to be him and the female dancer dancing on stage. There's not going to be lots and lots of people on stage. It's going to be quite an intimate and very well choreographed performance. He's obviously been living in Shanghai in China for quite a long time, working on choreography. So I have a feeling that it's going to be really eye-catching, and he has hinted that there's going to be a dance break as well. The uno, dos, tres bit is going to be removed from the version that we're going to be seeing in Benidorm. I think that is the dark horse as well. And Aritz Aren, it's really easy to remember. I think that people will love it. I think it would do really well in Liverpool. It could have that sort of like Spanish sort of thing that Luca Hani got for Switzerland with She Got Me. It's that nice sort of crossover of Latin sounds, and I think that could work really well. Unfortunately, he may have blotted his copybook a little bit because he was a little bit bitchy about some of the other performers who are in the competition on social media. He did criticize Agoné, for example. He wasn't keen on his song, which was a little bit silly because I mean his boyfriend is actually a YouTube influencer, so he should have known better not to have been so vocal about his co-competitors. He has apologized, but Agoné hasn't accepted his apology as far as I'm aware. Blanca Paloma did accept his apology. He said that it didn't matter at all, that the fact that Arit said that he doesn't listen to flamenco, so why should his song be flamenco, which is what Blanca's criticism was. But as far as I know, Agoné has not responded to the apology that he made. So that may have blotted his copybook because I know that Spanish fans are very passionate, so they may go against them. As for the others, well, Alice Wonder, I think she's wonderful. She's very lucky that she has got over a very nasty bicycle accident recently where she needed 6 stitches to her lip. And she's going to be quite surprising. She's going to come out, I think, in quite an unusual costume, which will. I don't know. I don't think it'll win, but I think it's definitely another possibility. As for the others, Sofia Martin is one that I'm really, really a fan of, Tuki, and I love what she's done with the Spanish language here. It uses it's using sort of like a very urban Spanish sound that is very. It's the most modern song that there is at all in this whole competition. Tuki. Tuki itself is a Venezuelan word. It means delinquent, but this word has become it's sort of entered the Spanish lexicon very, very recently in the last year as meaning sorted. So basically, a lot of people would hang around with the Venezuelan workers on Spanish factories and whatever. They'd be talking about the word. They say the word tuki, meaning delinquent, and the word tuki has now entered the Spanish lexicon in a way saying we're sorted, like the Londoners would say we're sorted. Estamos tuki, we're sorted. So it's a really interesting song. She's a fascinating person. She's part German herself, and I think that could go. That could also be another dark horse. So it's one that I'll be rooting for as well. I can talk about the others as well if you want.
I mean, would it be Spain without a little bit of shade and bitchiness going on in there? I mean, it normally happens after the contest, not before it. So that's new. Maybe they'll just throw something at them on stage. I don't know. Maybe Agoné will just throw something. That'll be fun.
There's always something, Elliot, that goes on in a Spanish selection. It's whether it's the performers or the fans, right? Something always happens in Spain. We can't go on here without a drama of some description.
Well, last year when they said Chanel shouldn't have won because she's not Spanish, and then she got third, and they all said, "Oh, it's amazing." It's like, make up your mind, guys. Pick a lane.
Do you remember this time last year? It was all Tanxigueras. Yeah. Remember that Tanxigueras, Philip Michelle? No, it wasn't. It was all
Tanxigueras. They were good.
Hey, I like Tanxigueras, and I did want them to win, but I accept what happened. Philip Michelle. Have you, so from the ones that you listen to, what do you like? Is there anything that kind of ticks your crazy box? Because I know you like a bit of crazy in the national final.
For me, Megara looks potentially crazy. It sort of looked like a Spanish Atari on acid.
Oh, God.
I really, really want to see this on stage, see what it's like. It's either going to be brilliant or shocking.
Yeah. Either way, we think that's good. We don't mind.
Yeah.
Brilliant or shocking.
As long as there's some chaos, we're up for it. Anything you particularly liked?
I liked Sharon. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. I absolutely loved it from start to finish. Go on. I thought
Yeah,
that
it was
did you like
okay.
it? Did
It
you
was
not?
okay. It was
You-
maybe a bit
Yeah,
formulaic.
you don't know what you're on about now.
Yeah,
to be
well.
fair. Go on.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree with Owen. I didn't like Fusing Nocta at all. I thought it was a bit of a 3-note howl. I'm sorry. It wasn't my cup of tea
Well,
at
it
all.
made me want to clap along. And I always think that if you can get a song that makes you want to sort of clap along, you're halfway there, aren't you? Because you've already got audience participation. And you remember the song that you always remember, the song
Yeah.
you clapped along to.
Yeah, and I thought,
Stuart, can you just clip Oben's face for that last 45 seconds as well? The disappointment and horror. Sorry, Michelle.
Owen knows that we love him, but yeah, I disagree on that song. And I thought Flamenco was okay, but it was just a little bit slow paced.
Oh my God, it went on.
faster.
No.
A little bit more up tempo. I think it would have been better.
Do you know what? In my notes, I thought, I can't wait for the dance remix of that. I think it's going to be brilliant, but I think it needs a dance remix.
Yeah, and I thought Twin Melody were like the Spanish cheeky girls, and it was like, there's one for the youth, but it was like something that sort of hits the bottom of the UK charts in the summer after everyone's come back from the holidays in Spain.
I felt that I'd heard that before.
Yeah,
It was like Eurovision, you know.
Well,
yeah.
It was a bit dated.
I wondered if Alice Wonder, any relation to Stevie?
I'm going to say no.
No? How do you know?
Yes.
Well, you never know, do you?
No.
It's an unusual
Adoption's a
last
thing.
name.
It isn't,
Yeah, it's an unusual last name. What else was good? Well, you see, I like Agony. I thought it was all over the place, but then I sort of really liked it. I thought this at the end of it, I wasn't sure if I hated it or I loved it, but I think I loved it.
Yeah, I think it needs a dance routine. It was like
It needs a dance routine.
Yeah.
There we go. It needs a dance routine.
But you know, it started off sort of whispery rap, and then suddenly a woman started shouting, and it's like, what's going on here? But yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was, but it was.
It was all right.
You remember it, don't you?
Yeah, it stood out.
I think that's about it.
Yeah, I think so.
For ones that I like.
I think somehow that was all of them. Moving on. I mean, David, these are your Iberian cousins next door. What stands out for you in this semi-final? Like I said, there's 9 songs, only 4 can advance. The jury has quite a weight in this, as we saw last year. Who are you sort of like backing on in 9 days' time?
Yes, for me, I think this primera semifinal es mucho difícil porque realmente tem 5 dos favoritos. That is the 5 of the favorites. You have Megara, which is a good rock song, which can be a risk for Spain to send because they never did rock in Eurovision, as I remember of. But you know, Tanota, and listen, is very interesting song. It's very interesting start to see. Agonay, we know Agonay is a fan of Eurovision. He's going to do 100% for this. You know, Alice Wonder is good. You know, Artistas won the TV Composers Award or something like that to be the best song in the competition due to the reviews. It's going to be very interesting. I don't want to see any interfight between Spanish because I know Spain is a very conflicted fan base. You know, you saw last year. This year can be a bit difficult to say, but I think. For me, I think if the FIFA wins advance, I think it would be good. But for me, my favorite for this semi, I think if I go for top 3, I think for me is going to be Magara, following by Alice Wonder, for probably between Fast Tanotto or Alice Wonder, because I think it's going to be interesting to see this semi-final, particularly the results.
Sorry, just Michelle just like saying, "Does we need a hug?" We all need a hug sometimes. Sure, it's come across just your chat room. I'm just going to jump in here. I mean, my winner of this entire selection, so the semi-final, is Agone with Quiero Arder. I think it's a brilliant song. Also, the song title literally translates to "I Want to Burn," and even in the clip art, he's got like devil horns. So I'm expecting something quite interesting on stage. And we know he can sing live, and he's basically becoming like a Spanish Adam Lambert, which is phenomenal because I love Adam Lambert. Twin Melody I love, I know it's not going anywhere. Sharon, it's camp disco fun by a drag queen. What can go wrong? And we know she can sing live because she's done it on national telly before. Going to be honest, Houston Octa and Alice Wonder, don't get it. Don't get the hype. I will happily take or leave both of those songs, to be honest. Neither really stood out for me, unfortunately. But I have been wrong on many an occasion, and I'm sure I'll be wrong this time. And I actually like Alex Saren. The thing is, though, with the whole flamenco thing, he's just singing "My Heart Beats in Flamenco." He's not actually saying about the song and the music. I don't get the fact like he's saying this is an ode to flamenco dancing or music. It's just like it's that sort of like tempo. So I don't understand this whole drama. But I do not believe for a single second he is 31 years old. I want to see a birth certificate on stage by RCV proving his age, because apparently he's just turned 31, and I do not believe him for a split second. Stuart, what is the chat room saying? What are you saying? You were a big fan of Benidorm Fest last year. You were a big fan of a few of the songs as well, most notably Sarah Diop until she started singing. Who stands out for you this year, and who do you actually think like any of these can actually replicate what Chanel did last year? Because you're the one pushing this the most out of anyone last year. And you kind of got proven right, annoyingly.
Yeah. Well, I like both Sarah Diop and Chanel. And I think what that taught me was you need to see the performance live before you can really have a view. What I think is really interesting is Elliot's music always wrong, by the way.
Yes, we've established this over the last 4 years.
Resounding fact, yes. There's some really good songs in the Benidorm Fest selection. Again, I don't know how Spain do it. Like they seem to have found the winning formula for Eurovision. They came close last year. Maybe they'll go close again this year. Some good ones. A couple of my favourites. Can we just start with Agone? Because there's been a bit divided in the panel tonight. Think back to Raiden with Cara de la Ronera from last year's Benidorm Fest selection. Yes, remember that? This has the hallmarks of Raiden. It's first up in the semi-final on the 31st of January, and I think this is going to go down a storm. It is messy, but I think there's going to be a fantastic performance to go with this song. I really like that one. Big fan of Alice Wonder as well, perhaps because it sounds like Alice in Wonderland. I don't know, but I love that song, and it's a really stunning ballad, by the way. She's got the most beautiful, deep, graveling voice, which it really does sound phenomenal. And actually, it's one of the only songs that I've heard in this selection that gives me goosebumps. It really is a fantastic entry, and I think it'll do very, very well. Expected to be playing piano right the way through. Also love Fusa Nocta with Mi Familia. I think that's a fantastic flamenco-inspired pop dance, very modern. It's got this phenomenal beat that just kind of hits you and bangs right the way through the song. If that's going to deliver on stage in the same way Chanel did, when you see it, I think it could be a Stuart delusional. No, of course I'm not. I'm right about this shit. Anyway, back to the story, right? Mi Familia, I think that could do really, really well in Benidorm Fest, possibly Eurovision as well. There's also Megara with Arcadia. Now, if you're thinking rock and you love a rock song and you love the kind of something that borderlines on Hatari, this is for you. I think there is absolutely Hatari vibes running right the way through this entry. It's all masks and eye paint. I'm sure this definitely delivers for a certain genre out there, especially in the Eurovision community. But I think it's going to be a lot of fun on stage. It's got a really cool, hooky chorus to it. The melody's good. It's very digestible rock, in my opinion. And I think this could do very, very well in semi-final one. Finally, I cannot get through a Benidorm Fest semi-one review without talking about the Queen. Sharon, who won Drag Race España. And I have to say, it's very rare you get a drag queen with as good a voice as Sharon. And I think she's going to surprise. The song Ayar is very Scandi inspired. It sounds like something we would hear in Melody Festival and in truth. But it's very, very good. And she can perform, she can sing live. I think this might be one to watch. So for me, of the four I've mentioned, watch out for Alice Wonder. I think that could bang. I think Ara could bang for Sharon, and an outsider, Mi Familia, Fusa Nocta. If we're going to go down the Chanel route for Spain again, that's probably the one that I would send to Eurovision. Back to you, Elliot.
Thank you. And like I said earlier, like Lucy, we know Sharon can sing because in the talent show Drag Race España, she actually sang, was it opera, Gustav? I know you watched that series. Was it opera she sang? Either way, she sang live and she can hit those notes quite easily. So it'll be interesting on that. Can I get in on that, Michelle? I can make some money easily out of that then. But like I said, that first semi-finals on the 31st of January, the second semi-finals on the 2nd of February, with the final on the 4th of February. So less than 2 weeks, we'll be talking about who actually won Benidorm Fest. And all of this speculation will be null and void because then we'll know who's won and half the chat room will probably be very upset like last year. But I digress, you'll wait and see. Moving on, just across the coast to Portugal. Festival da Canção is back. Yes, after the bounce back of the last 2 years, probably having some of their best success in recent years. Especially in a consecutive point of view, Portugal are back with Festival da Canção, the ever-running festival which also doubles as their Eurovision selection. 20 artists will be competing over 2 semi-finals, and we'll be looking at semi-final 1 this evening. And for those who don't know who they are, that is April Ivy, Bola Cherky, I almost read that as Chucky, Claudia Pascal, yes, the one who was there in 2018, she is back, she is home, gladly, she's recovered from, I believe it was a cancer diagnosis she had a few years ago, she is now all well and back singing, fantastic. S.A. Povo, Mimi Cat, Moya, Neon Soho, Sal, and You Can't Win, Charlie Brown. Yes, that is an actual band name. Portugal, people, I don't know. David, this is your home selection.
Yeah.
As you said, a lot of these artists are competing with their own song. It's very rare you see people who have submitted a song to give it to someone else, and this is the case here. Who from this semi-final stands out for you, and who from this semi-final do you think should go forward to the final?
Also, newsflash, is going to be a final of 12 this year. So instead of 10, it's going to be extra 2. So we're very excited. I think it's going to be 6 for me semi-final. So it's going to be a lot of competition this year. So it's going to be, Portugal is very unique. You know, you talk about a lot of composers singing their own song is good. No, this national is full of diversity. I think this semi-final is very good. I think we gotta start with the queen herself. Claudia seems to be the big favorite, probably to win this semi. She's probably the second most watched lyric video after Barbara, which we'll be talking next week. But yeah, just very international final. I think this semi is really, really good. I think there's from 20 songs, I think there's 1 or 2 I don't appreciate that much, but this is very good. I think you talk about also another big name, April Ivy is a big name in Portugal, not big name internationally, but big name in Portugal. I think with Moldova, I think this will be interesting to see. She's singing like a Dua Lipa style, which can be interesting. I'm very curious to see that live. I think if she can pull it off, I think she can do well. You know, we talk about Mimi Cat, very jazzy, very, very, very jazz. I think she can do well. Seems to be one of the dark horses from the eyes of what I said for the Portuguese bands. But you know, we have You Can Be Terrible is very mysterious. We have Neon Soul, which is very good, fantastic English song. It's very indie, very, very indie, like mysterious, like very much if Muse and Arctic Monkeys used together. It's really like in this direction, but then we have Too Much Off, which is a skippable song for me. It's really and then we have Bulha, which is very interesting for me because it's a very interesting song, but I don't know, he can do well. And then we have, I think it's Bull. I think is the Chiavari song, which is very good. I think you can be an outsider if you don't, but yeah, I think this can be a very interesting. It's gonna be open side. 6 spots is one more spot. It's only 4 to be out this year. I think this will be very interesting. 75 to see.
Okay, it's very good to hear that. So, Stuart, again, I'm going to come across back to you because, as always, you love Festival da Canção. You always mark it in your calendar. You're always a big fan of the Portuguese entry. You're kind of being proven right again in the last few years with Maro, and I have completely forgotten the band in 2021. What was their name? I've forgotten. Love is on my side. What was their name?
Sorry.
The Black
Black
Mamba.
Mamba, that was it. I completely forgot their
Not the Black
name.
Mamba, the Black Mamba.
Elliot, you've got the video.
I didn't like the song. I'm sorry, Sammy. I haven't listened to it in about a year.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Anyway.
Anyway. So, like I said, you like I said, it's no. You love Portuguese music. You love the sort of style of sound. So this is your wheelhouse. So what is jumping out for you here?
I think, I do. I do have a real affection for Portuguese music. It started when we went to Lisbon for Eurovision. Lisbon's a phenomenal city, and I spent many an evening in lots of different bars listening to Fado music and stuff like that. So, I do love the selection. Yet again, Portugal have an outstanding selection this year, incredibly diverse. Actually, that's one thing I look for in all Eurovision selections is diversity. And Portugal really do give it to you in spade loads. They really do. Some good songs. Now, listen, there are a couple of songs in tonight and next week's show in Portugal, which are definitely not Portuguese, in the sense that if you listen to them, you would think that is not from Portugal. That doesn't necessarily need to be a bad thing. I thought that the Black Mambas, that's correct, isn't it? Yeah, were definitely not a Portuguese sounding song. It was completely classic in terms of its style. Endless World by Neon Soho is another song which is fantastic, but is anything but Portuguese in its style. You would listen to it and think that's very kind of almost Northern European in the sense of like a band like London Grammar. And it really is a fantastic song. I have no idea how they could perform it. And some songs you think are going to do really well in Portugal just simply don't. This could be that song. But I think it has the ability to be performed really well. It's got some phenomenal lyrics. Love me, boy, don't you hold me tight just to satisfy my ego. It's fantastic. Go and have a listen. Really cool, modern, hooky chorus to it. April Ivy with Modovu is another really good song. This one... I would sort of say straight out of the 80s, really. It's a bit Rayleigh in its style. Hero a couple of years ago in Norway. Gorgeous performer, Latin inspired. It's likely to be a fan favorite, I think, once it's performed, because I think there'll be some staging to it as well. And it's a really good song. And of course, we can't get through semi-final one without talking about the phenomenal Claudia Pascal. This song for me, though, is very, very Marmite. It's very difficult to get and listen to and digest and like immediately. Probably one more for the Portuguese, and a bit like Portugal 2019, where the international fans just didn't get it. The Portuguese fans definitely did get it and wanted to send help me out, David. What was the song called in 2019? Tele something.
Telemavash.
Thank you very much. Yeah, and that worked in Portugal. Didn't work in a Eurovision stage. This one isn't as digestible as Claudia's song from 2018. So I wonder whether it will do as well as perhaps people want it to do. And there's some fantastic band names in Portugal this year. We've got Voodoo Marmalade. We've got Da Punk's Sportif. We've got You Can't Win Charlie Brown. So really, real classic. Finally, let's finish off with Too Much Sauce from Moya. This is a crazy song. It's lyrics like, quick bounce like a trampoline. It's rap meets grunge. It is fantastic. It is so good. From an international perspective, go and have a listen to that. It's a lot of fun. And I think that'll do really well in Portugal. And it won't win, obviously, but if it were to, I think it could be something very different, very diverse at Eurovision. Back to you, Elliot.
Thank you, Stuart. Obi, I'm going to go across to you now because Stuart raised a very good point there, which is the Portuguese are very passionate behind their entry, but more often than not, it doesn't translate in Eurovision. We saw that with Telemavash. We saw that with Claudia Pascal when she unfortunately placed last despite being the home entry. And so it's only in the last few years it sort of clicked on an international basis for Portugal. do any of these click for you? And can you see any of these, say, doing something similar to Marlowe and the Black Mamba in Liverpool?
Elliot, I think my record talks on behalf of me, and everybody it's a worldwide known fact that I'm a sucker for radio friendly Swedish pop, showgirl, cheesy nonsense lyrics, tacos, tamales, tomatoes, pumpkin pies, whatever, song lyrics, cheesecakes. Like, everybody knows that I don't have good taste in music, right? So I'm not gonna be judge of Canção, the Portuguese songs in this selection. I only listened semi-final one. It's just a lineup full of alternative songs. It's nothing mainstream. Like, even the most mainstream has very alternative, either sound to it or vocals to it. So for me, I'm like, yes, okay, yes, respect, right? But I'm gonna say this, and I'm not gonna say this because how much I love David, how much I love Portuguese people, how much I love Portugal, how much fun we had in Lisbon. But looking back to Maro and the Black Mamba, right? I didn't get it, and Portuguese people bring a show, and they fucking nailed it on the night, and they finished top 10. And even though I can't pick who's going to win this selection, I am going to say that I have absolute confidence in the Portuguese public that they will choose a magnificent song, and the broadcaster will support the act, and they will put on a show, and they will make it through, and they will have a good result this year. I have no doubt.
Very nice way to end that there. Matt, let's come to you. Because obviously, the songs haven't been out very long. You're not in like this little bubble as much as we are, so to speak, with us like chatting away. What speaks out to you? Because like I said, Stuart loves Portuguese music. I can't say I gel with it. Are you leaning to anyone on this? Like, are you seeing there's a potential dark horse or another top 10 or maybe even a winner in this semi-final for Portugal?
I think they've got a good selection. I think they're very different and unique. I quite like Claudia's. I do think her song is probably better than what she sent last time at Eurovision, and I really like that when a singer sends something that's actually either good or better than what they sent before. And I think if she went to Eurovision, she could do quite well. I think she's got a really catchy song. I quite like ESC Povo as well. Quite Spanish, sort of Portuguese in its sound, very catchy as well. So I think they could do well as well. But in general, I think the songs this year, they are good, but I think a few of them could need a bit of work doing to them. There was one I listened to which sounded sort of like more like a demo. I'm just trying to remember which one it was now. And yeah, I think with a few of them, if they had a bit of work doing to them, they could do better. Like the song that Portugal had last year. I wasn't really a fan of it, but then once I saw the staging and they seem to have done a bit of work to the song, I did prefer that. So yeah, I think quite good songs, but with a few of them, I think if they had some work doing to them, Portugal could have another good result again this year.
Okay, it's very promising. Like I say, it's hard. So we've got a case for your own demographic and then say translate or demographic to a wider European audience. And I think that's what they've nailed in the last year, especially staging wise. Because I remember the Black Mamba staging being very nice with the woman walking along on the big LED screen and like all the clapping with Mara as well. I thought that was quite sweet as well. The little moment she created in that small stage was very impressive. Gustav, let's come to you. Sweden don't seem to like Portugal in Eurovision. I've noticed the last few years they either don't give them points, or when it's hosted in Sweden, Portugal just go no thank you and withdraw. So I'm not asking you to speak on behalf of Sweden here, but is there anyone here? Because again, Portugal, they have a little bit more like a lower tempo, which you love a lower tempo. You love a ballad and you love something a bit chilled out. Is there anything like that that speaks to you in here?
Listen, I was so excited that we were going to talk about Portugal today because, as you know, I'm not usually a fan of Portugal in Eurovision, and especially not their national final because I find it so tedious and boring. However, I listened to all the songs and I was so excited because I liked many of the songs, but all of them are in semi-final too. So,
Oh no!
I do for semi-final one. I do like April Ivy. I think that song is really interesting, and I can't wait to see what she will do on stage. But all of my favorites are in semi-final too.
Oh no. Well, at least you like summer Portugal. That's good. Let's take the positives where we can, guys.
It's a win for me.
And sometimes that's the biggest praise of all when Gustav can give it its own stamp of approval. Tristan, let's come to you on this. Obviously,
Wow.
like I said, like diverse selection as always. Very comical names in the selection as well. I'm sorry, I'm still laughing at You Can't Win Charlie Brown. It sounds like it was just started by a generator of like some music of just words called smush. Is there anything like, and also like say with your sort of Spanish background that really speaks to you again in a Portuguese influence there?
I couldn't disagree more with Gustav. My top 5 are all in semi-final 1. So all my of all of the songs, my top 5 are in semi-final 1. My favorite is Sal Viver. I love that psychedelic sound. It's a sort of music that I will listen to, that I will pay to download. It's got a really nice sound. It's something that I think could qualify definitely. I also like Neon Soho, the Endless Chill, and Endless World song, which is it's got to be spectacularly staged to get through, but I really love it. It's a beautiful song. Mimicat, the Amy Winehouse do Tejo, the Amy Winehouse of the Tagus River. It's a definite qualifier, and it's really exciting. And I'm hopefully there'll be lots of dancing on stage, and if it does, it's going to do really well as well. I quite like the grime thing. I mean, it's just out there, the Booyah, which is the style of music of grime. It'll be so current, and it's going to be a wonderful addition to the Eurovision family. So I think Muya could also bring something as well. And then let's not forget Claudia Pascual. I don't think it's as good as Au Jardin, but I love the way that the song builds up in that way. In fact, there are two moments in that song that build up to a sort of crescendo, and I love it as well. I don't think it will do well at Liverpool, but I do love that song. But for me, my absolute favorite has to be Sal. Love it. It won't do necessarily well at Liverpool, but it's my favorite.
Very strong words from me, and also not the semi-final from Tristan there. Phil and Michelle, let's come to you. Just to round this out on, what are your thoughts on some of these unique entries from Portugal? Let's see, because as Stuart said, there's quite a few interesting ones in this semi-final alone. What speaks to you?
I quite like Mimicat. When it started, like the big sort of piano crescendo, I thought, first I was afraid, I was petrified. It was like the start of I Will Survive.
It did, yeah.
But it was good. It's a traditional set. It almost sounded Greek to me, you know. But I liked, you know, it's a bit like Zorba's dance. You can imagine doing the whole Greek dancing thing. But I like that one.
Oh, well, just on that one, I agree with Phil. I loved it. I thought it was brilliant. It's another hand clapper.
Yeah.
And yet again, as we all know the rules, who doesn't like a hand clapper?
Yeah, I liked SF Povo as well. That was quite cheerful. Because I like a cheerful song. It was nice.
Well, do you know what? Oh God!
Yeah, you could almost dance to that.
I really like that as well. You just you're just reading my notes. You and Dick, honestly. Yeah, I like that one as well.
So Viva was okay. It was quite good. It took a little while to get going, but then it sort of got got a bit more rocky.
I really liked it. I love the meaty guitar in it. I thought the guitar, it did go on a bit too long, the sort of solo-y guitar bit, but I really liked it.
Yeah.
Well, let us have a go.
Go on,
We'll see if you like it.
You're gone.
Oh no, we won't go for that one. Hang on, wait. No, I don't like that one either. Go on, Phil. You carry on.
Okay, ones I didn't really like Bola. I wasn't sure what was going on with that one. It was like almost like the band.
Is that a too much sauce one?
No. Where are you? We've got notes here. That one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It was like the band were playing a different song to what the singers were singing.
God. I put it's too jazzy for me.
It's like,
all a little bit. Oh.
And you can't win Charlie Brown. They can't win with that. It was okay if you were trying to get to sleep. But
do you know what? I liked that. I liked the tone of his voice. I liked the simplicity of the arrangement. But then just when you thought it was sort of lacking something, it was all dreamy and nice, and I like that.
And the last one I want to comment on is Moya Too Much Sauce, because there's like a UK TV cooking competition show.
Is that about Greg Wallace from MasterChef?
Yes, it's called MasterChef. And I just thought, Greg Wallace with his London accent going, that's too much sauce. It's too much sauce.
Greg Wallace can never have too much sauce because he loves the sauce. I just thought this was somebody that had a portion of chips somewhere in England up north that had not got enough gravy on it. Well, no, too much gravy. And I thought, you can't have too much gravy on it. You know, your sauce. You need more sauce. They're delusional. They're not going to win.
I must admit, when I hit record today, the last thing I thought we'd hear the words mentioned was Greg Wallace and MasterChef. But the beauty of an ESC Fan TV live show, you never know what's going to happen. But that is all on Portugal. Just jumping, I think my favourite from the semi-final and potentially the entire selection is Mimicat. I do love that song. However, to circle back to what Stuart said earlier about some not sounding Portuguese, I definitely get a French influence from that song and the music, not necessarily Portuguese. It's very much Passé par toi from 3 years ago from Barbara. So I don't really know how they're going to respond to that. But as a song, I think it's fabulous. But the semi-finals on the 25th and 4th of March, 25th of February and the 4th of March, with the final on the 11th. So we've still got a while for Portugal to go. And that is us done on Portugal. Oh, sorry, David. Just one last thing.
Yes, I got to talk about Claudio Pascoal and of course the style. This festival, this year is very different because usually artists go safe-ish on this 12%, but this year seems to be artists did deviate from their genres. Pascoal is a very good evolution from 2018 because she didn't write originally, he's already did, and of course he was very minimalistic sentiments of it. Lucia Maria is a very folky song, I'm not biased because I'm in Leiria, I'm in her home city. She's evolved a lot. She's like from Germany, she did very good singles, she covered a lot, it's very good, but also Too Much Sauce song for me is a very weaker version of Degradé from last year because I think Degradé is rather scary song than this one, even though he has the African beats. It's very interesting.
Perfect. Thank you, David, on that. Like I said, 2 semi-finals, final, but not for a while. It's always one of the last. I think it is technically the last national selection to complete because it finishes after Melody Festivalen. So I do believe it is technically the last national final of the year. Like I said, bit of a wait until we have the result of that one, and I'm sure Stuart will be up until 2 a.m. waiting for the result of that, like him and Portugal. To be honest, I think at that point it's just him and Portugal.
Around midnight. It's around midnight, not 1 a.m. We are not Italy. We are not Italy.
You're close, and that's bad enough.
But, hey, 12% is on the anniversary month. We cannot blame RTP. They do their anniversary celebration.
Oh, so it is going to take even longer. At least with San Remo, you have like a granddaddy 75 singing, and that makes it a bit cute and adorable. What was his name last year? Gianni? I don't know. He was cute.
Gianni Miranda. He's presenting this year.
Oh, God. I think we need a whole different show to unpack all of that. And just before we go, just going to have a quick little whistle stop around Norway. Obviously, the second semi-final did take place last night. We're not going to go through all the songs just because of time. There were 3 more advancing. So first we had Jorna advance for the song Echo in Mig, Echo Inside Me. Gustav, I'm fully aware I probably butchered some of the pronunciation in that. I am sorry. Swing It with Prohibition. And finally, LCB advancing with Love You in a Dream. They were the 3 to advance last night, joining the 3 from semi-final 1. From those who watched the Melody Grand Prix last night, thumbs up, thumbs down, did the correct 3 advance to the final last night? 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so a bit more positivity than I expected, because I don't expect anyone to think that one of them should have advanced, but that's just me. And Stuart knows my thoughts because we were talking through the show last night. And secondly, did anyone think last night they had heard the winning song from this semi-final? 3, 2, 1, go. Hey, I'm not alone and it's Gustav. Wow. I think that's the biggest shock. Okay, I mean, I know, Oben, so I'm just going to very quickly, because we've still got a bit of time, I just need to ask these 2 who said yes to that. Oben, Gustav, let's go to Gustav first. What song do you think last night could win it in 2 weeks' time? Then I have to ask.
What do you think? Of course, I'm thinking about LCB, because that song is absolutely stunningly beautiful, and the lyrics, they are. I wish I had written those lyrics, because they are so thoughtful, and it's just storytelling at its finest. I am obsessed with it.
I know, but I'm just going to come around to you quickly. I saw your thumbs go up as well. Which song did you think can win then last night, from what you saw?
I think thinking the history of in the living memory of Norway and Denmark, those are the 2 countries that would take a chance on a swing song. And I think Prohibition, thinking it's Norway, might have a chance to win it. You know?
Okay, just bear in mind, guys, this is the same person who half an hour ago said his music taste was wrong, and said he always gets it wrong. So just disregard that. Stuart, as I said, we were talking last night during the show. A lot of love seems to be coming in for Elsie in the chat room. What were your thoughts on it then?
Yeah, I thought Elsie, like last year, delivered an absolutely stunning vocal. I mean, she is the consummate performer, isn't she? She writes songs. She writes great songs, very meaningful lyrics, as Gustav made a comment about, and she can perform the heck out of them. Worthy finalist. I did think, though, that Norway missed a real treat last night, not sending through this absolute cracker. I thought this song was by far Norway's best chance of a really great Eurovision moment. But ruined it for me. I now have to go and watch the replays. So I'm not very happy about that.
I bet you don't on standby because of how sad you are.
Well, that's true too. But you know what? Thank God for recording. That's what I would say. And YouTube, because I can go and watch it whenever I like.
I think it needs to be learned. Stuart, I think, loves a little bit of Latin flavor in the women's.
The thing is, I have to say, I like the song. I thought the song was outstanding. The performance was great. I was not expecting what she was going to wear on stage, though. That was quite the shock.
Even the Brazilian part. She sung a little bit part in Brazilian, if you don't understand Brazilian, or you understand.
She's
Brazilian.
She's Brazilian.
Yeah.
And actually, just a note on Bjorn, because I thought he was outstanding. And probably arguably one of the, if not the best, or the second best vocal of the night. I thought his song was outstanding, and I was a little surprised that this didn't make it through. And then very finally from me, what on earth were Norway thinking? What is going on in Scandinavia? Why with the Latin music? There's
always Latin pop in Norway and Sweden. You should know every year. And clearly, because Alvaro's busy this year, Alejandro went for Norway.
Yeah, but with a song called Fuego. I mean, did they not learn in Scandinavia? Norway, Sweden, don't send songs to your national selection. It wastes a spot.
Yeah.
Gustav's going to kill me in a minute, I can tell.
Me.
Yes, Michelle.
I was just wondering, why was Johnny Vegas sat on a white bench?
Moving on.
Be nice to Bjorn. He's sweet. And I was really sad when he got knocked out last night because I love his song. But no, circling back, yeah, I think at the minute it's Elsie Bass to lose because we saw last year from the semi-final to the final, she improved it. Staging was stunning, dress was stunning, ballroom dancing in a national final, loved it. So I was very happy, and it was some very good ballroom dancing as well, and it works. So I am so happy with that as well. But again, I have to agree with Gustav. The lyrics are some of the best I've ever heard. Like if it's nothing but a nightmare when I wake up, I can always love you in the dream. I think that is some really powerful lyrics. I love them. But that brings us to a nice close for this evening. Of course, Norway will complete their semi-finals next week, and then we'll have all 9 plus potentially a wild card because I still think there's going to be. But that is all for now. If you're watching us live, please leave a like and comment. We do love having you in the chat room. Or if you're watching it back, please just do the same. We love hearing from it, like what we did good, what we did bad. Should I just never be allowed to host again? It's all valid. All right, Stuart, you're in charge next week. You're doing everything, including hosting.
Yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good.
But speaking of next week, Stuart, what have we got on? Because I'll be honest, I've got no clue what we're meant to be talking about next week. I haven't been told.
I think it's this again.
Oh, great.
I think it's the other part of this is what we're doing next week. So if you're still with us, and you still love Benidorm Fest and Festival da Canção, make sure you join us next week for the completion. And I promise you it will get better. I promise you it will get better. Actually, I'm only joking. The songs are fantastic tonight, but they are better next week. There's a potential Eurovision winner in next week's selection, so we can talk about that. And no doubt we'll catch up on what's going on in MGP, Elliot.
That means Stuart is about to give his kiss of death for the year. Woohoo! And it's still only January. Maybe it's because Tom's not here yet. But like I said, that's all for this evening. So I just want to say a big thank you to my panel. A big thank you to Matt for coming on. I hope you've enjoyed being back in this crazy little bubble of ours.
Yes, it's great to see you all again.
A big thank you to Phil and Michelle. As I said, the king and queen of ESC Fan TV. You can go run back to your little hole of weird and wonderful national finals now.
I can't believe it's only January still. I feel like I'm in March already.
So much fun to be had here, I'm sure.
Get ready. Wait to February 11th. I think we've got like 7 songs being decided that night. Ugh. A big thank you to Gustav all the way from Stockholm.
Are you going to stop there?
I had a thought then, and then it just sort of trailed off. I'm not going to lie. My brain just stopped working.
I wasn't sure about this when you started out with calling me out for my Spanish knowledge, but it was a really great show and it was good feedback.
I stand by what I said. A big thank you to Tristan.
Yeah, thank you very much. You didn't get I didn't get to talk about Norway, but I just want to say that Ella was robbed.
Sorry, Tristan. I disagree personally. I never had to see that song again, and that's fine by me. Sorry, Ella. I'm sure you're lovely. It just the performance wasn't for me.
He was the Norwegian Chanel.
All I'm going to say is, in your staging for future, guys, don't sing a song saying, watch this body part of me, then promptly leave the stage during the dance break where you're meant to show it off. That's all I'm saying. Big thank you to David. I hope you've enjoyed talking about your national final. And like I said, it sounds like there's a lot to come from next week's show with the second semi-final as well.
Muito obrigada, muchas gracias. Next week, we will do all over again. España, Portugal, and Netherlands. It's going to be interesting, I think. And I hope Rostand didn't come in on, but I think next week is going to be very good.
And a big thank you to Oben, who I'm sure next week will be very excited about the Czech Republic's national final approaching very soon as well.
Yeah, I'm really surprised. I already organized that event. This is the first time ever live show. So I'm gathering a bunch of friends over and it's going to be fun. But for tonight, Elliot, you've been an amazing host. Stuart, you have been a lazy co-host. And panel, you've been amazing as always. Gustav, Kristen, David, Matt, it was lovely to see you. Michelle and Phil, I'm moving so soon. Just hold on, okay? And everyone in chat room, I love you all. You're as fun as always. Good night. And I just lit.
And now Oban is now my favourite for that read. Oh, love it. That'll keep me going for the entire season. And finally, a big thank you to the hardest working co-host in Eurovision, I promise, Stuart.
Not according to my former friend from the Czech Republic. Let me say, can I just shout out those in the chat room? I'm not sure there is a single person in the chat room who's listened to any of the bloody songs. So can I just say a huge congratulations to all of you for sticking around for the full hour. I don't know what else you could have been doing, but I'm sure it wasn't worth it as much as sitting here and looking at these beautiful people on your screen. So thank you for staying with us, and join us next week for the completion of the song selection that you have absolutely no idea about. It's been fun.
And if not, we're just giving them our very intelligent, informed opinions on who to support and just watch them crash and burn in the semi-finals. And like I said, I have been your host this evening. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. It's been a lot of fun. But until next week, it's goodbye from us. Like I said, we'll figure out what we're doing next week, but I think it's the same again. But until then, see you later. Bye.